Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and this is going to be a pretty unique video because I'm going to be reacting to TFL's video that they just posted talking about how they are going to be selling their Ram TRX. I think this is a huge misstep, so I'm going to give my 5 reasons as to why TFL should not sell their Ram TRX. And TFL, if you happen to be watching this video, I watched every single ad on your video, so since you got 2 cents in ad revenue from me, I'm going to give you guys my 2 cents on the situation. Let's get into it. So the first reason as to why TFL should not sell their TRX is because of the uniqueness of the truck. So as of right now, there is nothing else on the market like the TRX. We have a supercharged 6.2 liter V8 under the hood that has 702 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. We have almost 12 inches of ground clearance from the factory, 35-inch tires from the factory, and we've got 5-link coil suspension here in the back end, and then we have our active shocks from Bilstein, and all of this together leads to an amazing driving experience and one of the most capable off-road vehicles on the planet. This can pretty much tackle anything that you throw at it. It is just absolutely fantastic. I know a lot of people are going to say Raptor. Well, guess what? This is the only Raptor you can buy right now. A Raptor with a twin turbo V6, not a supercharged V8. And this thing is awesome, don't get me wrong, with the 37-inch tires and all that, but it's not a TRX. And I know people are going to comment Raptor R. You still can't buy a Raptor R at this point. And so as of right now, this is an extremely unique vehicle. There is nothing else like it on the planet. And so TFL getting rid of it, I think is a misstep because they're getting rid of their most unique vehicle. Now, the number 2 reason as to why they should not get rid of the TRX is viewer loyalty. Now, what I mean by viewer loyalty is there is a ton of loyalty behind the Ram brand in general, but more specifically behind the TRX. There's a lot of you that are subscribed to my channel personally just because I own a TRX, and I know that TFL is in a similar situation, especially with their TFL off-road page and their TFL truck page. There's a lot of you that subscribe to that and watch their videos because they have a Ram TRX, and they've done a ton of awesome content with their Ram TRX. They've taken it off-road a million times. They've drag raced it against like everything on the planet. They have done a ton of cool things with the truck. They've even towed with it as well. Like literally anything you can do with the TRX, they have done that with the TRX. And so there's just a lot of people that literally will just watch those videos because they just want to see what the TRX does in just any sort of situation that TFL will throw at it. And so I just think that there's a lot of people that watch them that are probably not going to watch them anymore because they don't own a TRX, and they're not going to be posting TRX content like they have been over the last, like, what, year and a half? Or that's actually, yeah, a little bit more than a year and a half. And so again, I think that there's a viewership loyalty thing that they need to take into consideration with this truck. Now, the number 3 reason as to why TFL should keep their TRX is because of future comparisons. Now, in an earlier point, I said that the TRX is extremely unique and there's nothing that compares to it right now, and that is true. But again, right now, in the near future, we are going to be having, well, the newest version of the Raptor coming out, aka the Ford Raptor R. There's been a lot of leaks on information with the Raptor R recently, like a leaked window sticker, for example, and then also like a build sheet at the factory as well. And both things say supercharged 5.2 liter V8 10-speed automatic transmission, and just like my Raptor, 37-inch tires from the factory. And so this really is going to be a TRX killer when it comes out. And so if TFL still has their TRX when the Raptor R comes out, they can do awesome comparisons that'll get a massive amount of views. But if they sell their TRX, it's going to be a lot harder to put that comparison together. Now, the reason it's going to be a lot harder to put that comparison together is I don't think that Ford is going to have Raptor Rs out in the press fleets. That's my guess. I could be completely wrong on that, but I think this is going to be a super limited production vehicle. It's going to be very hard to get a hold of. So it's probably not going to be a vehicle that they can get through press fleets. They're probably going to have to basically find someone that owns a Ford Raptor R and review their truck. And then if they don't have their TRX anymore, then they'll have to find someone that owns a TRX so that they can review their truck. Obviously, they can ask Stellantis for a TRX if Stellantis still has TRXs out in the press fleets at that point. They probably won't, right? Because they don't need any more advertising on the TRX. And so the point that I'm trying to make is with the new Raptor R coming out and with a lot of EV trucks coming out, the TRX is an amazing truck to use as like a comparison baseline. And if TFL sells the truck, they don't have that comparison baseline anymore, and it'll kind of rob their channel of a lot of awesome comparisons that they could do over the next year or two. Now, the 4th point is the fact that this is the best possible advertising piece for TFL. Now, some of you might argue with me on this particular point, but TFL is not just a group of automotive journalists, it's also a group of automotive influencers. And part of being an automotive influencer is owning cool vehicles. And I think TFL has done a really good job with this. When they obviously purchased the TRX, they now have the new Silverado ZR2 as well, which is an amazing off-road truck. And so again, they have really cool vehicles in their fleet. And I don't think that it's a bad thing for them to keep those vehicles longer than what they normally do with vehicles. In their video, they said that they're not car collectors, right? They just buy these cars to review them and then move on to the next car, right? They just always want to fund new projects. And I completely understand that from a business perspective. But then another thing from a business perspective is having certain things stay long-term because it's just like part of your brand. And I think that the TRX has become a large part of TFL's brand because they were like the first place to get a TRX, and they happen to have like the most inexpensive TRX ever because they barely added any options onto it. And so it just, this really cool story, and they have so many videos with the truck, and I just think that it's a really like solid advertising point for them. And again, I know that they probably see themselves as journalists, but they are also influencers. And so as an influencer, right, there are certain vehicles that are attached to your brand and you just have to accept that and just go with that. And so I think that they need to look at this from like an advertising perspective for themselves, right? And see that the TRX is a massive advertising piece for their brand because now people have something cool to watch from them on a regular basis. And I'm not saying that their reviews aren't cool. The reviews that they film are amazing. But if we get these amazing reviews from TFL all the time, and then every so often we get some TRX content sprinkled in, I think that it's the best of both worlds. Now, the fifth and final point is future resale value with the TRX. In TFL's video, they talk about how they have a bid from a dealership to pay more for the TRX than what they paid for it brand new, which is absolutely crazy. And so it seems like a really smart business decision for them to just get rid of the truck because they can make a little bit of money right now. But here's the deal. Is Ram is still producing TRXs, and they're still going to produce TRXs for several more years is what they have told us. And so I think that we're at the bottom of the market for the Ram TRX because you can still go into a dealership and you can get a brand new TRX. And a lot of dealerships are selling TRXs for under MSRP. Even though the used ones are going for over MSRP, a lot of dealerships are selling them for under MSRP, which is just absolutely crazy. But the point I'm trying to make is we are probably at the bottom of the market for the Ram TRX. So yes, TFL could make a little bit of money right now, but they can make a lot more money in the future if they kept the truck long term. Now, if you guys are wondering why this is happening with the TRX, the thing that Ram said when they released the TRX is, if you want a TRX, we will build you a TRX. And this was to fight against the Ford Raptor because it is extremely difficult to get a Ford Raptor. Like, just to give you guys an example, right now, with a Gen 3 Raptor with the 37 performance package, which is what I have right now, you would have to pay at least $15,000 to $25,000 over sticker to get a truck. And then if you want to get one, you know, at MSRP, you're probably gonna have to wait for 4 to 5 years to get a truck. And so it's super hard to get a Raptor, whereas with the TRX, it's actually pretty easy to get a TRX. You pretty much just go into a Ram dealership, put an order in, and then you're gonna get a truck within like, I mean, at most, I've heard people tell me like 6 months, but a lot of people have told me they literally have gotten their truck within like 3 months, which is just absolutely crazy. So yes, with all that information, the point that I'm trying to make with this fifth point is we're probably at the bottom of the market for TRX values. And so TFL could make a little bit of money now, but they can make a lot more money in the future if they hold the truck long term. Now that's gonna sum things up for the 5 reasons as to why I think TFL should keep their Ram TRX. I want you guys to let me know what you think about the whole TFL selling their TRX situation. And if TFL happens to see this video, I doubt they will, I want you guys to, well, answer my points, and maybe TFL will call me crazy and say that I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think I put together a pretty good argument in today's video. As always, if you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe, and I'll see all of you in that next video.